people get confused is that when they hear this, that, our energy is creating our reality, really, they get confused and they say, well, does that mean I have to be positive all the time? Does that mean I just, suppress my emotions? No. It actually means understanding what our emotions are and where they come from so that they don't get stuck. So that negative emotions, the lower frequency emotions, we don't get stuck in that frequency. Because who wants to stay there? That's going to create more of that, right? If we're feeling really depressed or anxious, right? If you stay in that and that you're stuck there, then you're creating more of that, right? So those kinds of things come into your life, more of whatever you're in. So what do we want to do? We want to work with our emotions, right? We want to look at those emotions. We want to recognize them, accept them, validate ourselves, know that, talk to ourselves, find that part of us that is feeling that emotion and validate it. A lot of times a visualizing your inner child works really well for this, because it's our inner child, this part of our subconscious that is getting emotional, that's feeling these emotions. And it just kind of comes out, right? We feel like out of control. It's not our conscious mind that is feeling these emotions, it's the inner child. And so validating that in us and saying it's okay, this is, you're feeling this as part of being human, giving ourselves love and compassion instead of judging ourselves, which is what so many people do, right? Putting ourselves down for having a hard time for feeling emotions. I've heard the term, someone says, I'm really emotional, maybe someone passed away and you're grieving that loss, and then they say, I've been a mess lately. That kind of a way to describe our emotions is a very judgmental way, and it's putting a lot of judgment on that. So instead of that, it's, I'm feeling this loss deeply. Whatever it is, we can have compassion, we can have love for that part of ourselves. We can validate that. Validating is the way to releasing emotions. That's the way. When we suppress them and when we judge ourselves and don't validate our emotions, they get stuck and we suppress them, we push them down, and then they manifest in so many different ways. So many different negative things come out of those emotions. They manifest in a physical way, which is what I deal with my clients. My clients come to me and they're having a physical manifestation of stress, of fear, of something that got suppressed. That's a big, big part of it. So I help them to look at what is suppressed and validate that so that they can move it through and they can start to process it. So we want to process those emotions. So validating our emotions, accepting our emotions, processing it is such a big piece of creating a life that is, a life that we want, a life where we're in higher frequencies, so that we can, get through those emotions and be okay with ourselves. We're not harboring, shame, guilt, whatever, for even having emotions, for being human, which so many of us grew up with, right? Feeling ashamed for crying. I did. I grew up with that. So much shame around my emotions. I felt like they were so out of control, and then I was just shamed for them, and I hated myself. I went through a phase of just having a lot of self-hatred for feeling emotions. So emotions are just a part of being human. But what I wanted to talk about today is that when we realize that our energy is creating our life, we can start to recognize what the energy is that we're embodying from moment to moment. And we can make choices to be in alignment with who we want to be, with what we want to create. So it's really, really exciting actually to know that we can create a beautiful reality. But it takes a few things, right? It takes processing through our emotions, accepting them, validating them, normalizing them. And then it takes making conscious choices to get into the frequencies, the energies that we want to feel. So dwelling on certain thoughts, like thoughts of lack, if you're, there's so many examples, but dwelling on things that pull you down, right? Judgments, being judgmental in your mind, comparing yourself to other people. I just really got this concept very clearly when I was looking in the mirror one day years ago and noticed that I was having negative thoughts about myself. And I was saying that I'm only beautiful if I wear makeup. I'm ugly. I have the secret that I'm like this really ugly person. And those thoughts, any negative thought about my body, just my personal experience, puts me in a very low vibration. I start to feel horrible. I start to feel like I just want to curl up and don't want to be seen and just embarrassed about myself. Anything that makes you feel that way is not serving you. It's not for your highest good. It's going to bring you down, right? So we want to get out of those thoughts. They're not true. They're just simply not true. We need to challenge them. So I just want to do this quick video because today was a really good day for me, and I started it out with a really great yoga session. I did a meditation, and I don't always start my day out perfectly, but I know that when I intentionally make choices that puts me into activities or an energy of higher frequency energy, of feeling good, of taking care of myself. Whenever we take care of ourselves, we are raising ourselves up, we're raising our vibration. And so noticing where we are on our vibration, noticing if it's high vibration, if it's right here in the middle, if it's low, and doing the things that we can do to raise it up, to take care of ourselves, to notice what thoughts we're dwelling on, the activities that we're doing. Music is a really great way to raise our vibration, depending on the music, obviously. But a lot of music out there is just so good, and it can just make you feel good and just, let go, release a lot of stress, right? So anything that helps you release stress will raise your vibration. So exercise, right? That's such a good way to release stress, get our body moving. So just know that by recognizing where you're at energetically throughout the day, you can start to make choices to get more in alignment with the life you want to create and the person you want to be. You have that. You have that power. It's really amazing. It's really exciting and freeing, just to know, that we're not stuck. We don't have to be stuck. And the work that I do is just so beautiful. It's so inspiring to me. It's like, I knew I wanted to work with people. I got my master's in counseling, but doing this work with the people that I'm helping and seeing them break out into possibilities and see and understand, how they have so much more power over their lives than they thought they did. They can release things, they can move through, we all can. So this is something we all have the power to do. And just the first step is really recognizing the energy that you're in throughout the day, how it shifts, what affects your energy. When you start to feel bad, notice what you're doing, notice what you're thinking about. And in order to create a life that brings more of the good, of the positive, of the like good stuff, right? Good things happening, to help you move forward towards your dreams and your goals, we need to be in a vibration that is in alignment with that, right? So just noticing, starting to recognize where you're at is the first step to that. So I just want to share this. And even like little things like flowers, buying flowers, that can affect your vibration, just touching a plant and being grateful for it. And, even the clothes that you wear affect your vibration. The way that you decorate your house, clutter affects your vibration, right? I'm just looking at this right here. This is a gift that a client gave me for Christmas. And it's just like this beautiful symbol of, I'm appreciated, for what I do. And that makes me feel good. So the things that our perception really affects our energy, and what we're focusing on has a huge impact on how we feel, and in turn how our body is, the chemistry, the functionings of our cells, right? And if we're feeling stressed or depressed, that is affecting our brain, our neurotransmitters, and the stress hormones going through our body. So it has an impact on your body. So noticing that, recognizing that you have power over how your body is, how healthy you are, and also how your life goes is really empowering, right? Just to know that. And then when we know that, we can start to make conscious choices to do things that are good for us, and not just stay in, stuck in victim mode and stuck in this life of, well, I just have to do this job, or I just have to do this thing. No, you don't. You can create whatever you want. I wanted to homeschool and I wanted to work from home, and I'm doing it. It's like I have created what I want. I created exactly what I wanted. And everyone said I was crazy. Everyone said I had to, get a job and, put my kids in school or put my kids in daycare or whatever. But I really wanted to spend this time with my kids. It didn't feel right to have my kids in school, and or even virtual school. That didn't even feel right. I wanted to use my creative energies to homeschool. That's very exciting for me. That's in alignment with the vibration of the life I want to live. It's really fun. So creating those, putting those things in my life that are fun for me, getting that whole vision of like, what do I want to do if I could create anything? It's totally possible. It really is. So just want to share that, and hope everyone has a good night. All right. Bye.